Story 1. I keep a basket of snacks and non-perishable food by my desk for coworkers to take as needed. I realized a lot of the new hires weren't eating lunch because they had been out of work for a while, so I order a couple of cases of ramen from Amazon every month and keep tuna fish, peanut butter, crackers, protein bars, and chips available at all times. It's not necessarily the healthiest option, but it is filling. It literally costs me maybe $25 a month, including the candy bowl I keep filled. I also have a first aid box under my desk with cold medicine, vitamins, pain relievers, lidocaine patches, and even naloxone. I'm often described as everyone's mom. Being kind costs me very little financially, but it's repaid instantly. No one wants hungry coworkers. Story 2. Get massages. Found a place in my city that does them for $70 and I go once or twice a month. I consider it part of my self-care routine and will forego other things to fit it into my budget. Story 3. Travel. The truth is that we choose to live below our means so we can take time off and see the world, but everyone seems to think we must be rolling in money. Story 4. Buy things right when I want them. I don't agonize over every purchase since I budget and know what I can or can't afford. I also save for things in advance in categories on that budget, such as personal computer parts replacement or television replacement. As soon as I buy those things, I start saving for the next replacement whenever that is. So, I just buy what I want right away, usually. I've been told by multiple family members I'm tough to shop for around the holidays because I don't talk about needing or wanting things. I just go buy things. No, I just properly plan, guys. Story 5. Turn down overtime. People look at me like I'm nuts, but I could get hit by a cement truck tomorrow. I think my kids would rather remember dad being around than them getting one extra vacation a year. Story 6. I refuse to pinch pennies when I travel anymore. That was something I did when I was young, just to be able to travel at all. Now, if I cannot afford to be reasonably comfortable, I just won't go. Story 7. I buy food for my friends. I am in an art community with a lot of starving artists. I am an artist myself, but with the advantage of having passive income. So I usually have a bigger monthly budget than those I love around me. I typically always pay for my friends' food when we are out, making a drive-through run, or at a convenience store. It's a small thing, but it warms my heart to fill the bellies of people who are poor but still working to creatively enrich the lives of those around them. Story 8. Designer clothes, shoes, and bags. I always look like $1,000,000. I exclusively shop at thrift or consignment stores and the sale and clearance racks at outlet stores. I'm a college professor and have had students that aren't mine stop me in the halls to tell me they love my sense of style. I'm sure everyone thinks we're loaded. Story 9. Because I always mention new games I am playing, people think I am rich for buying so many. The truth is that my cousin is a lawyer with an absurd amount of games, and I was just lucky enough to have his account. Story 10. Go on 2-week vacations. In America, anything beyond a 1-week vacation is considered a real luxury. We drive base model cars until the wheels fall off. And we downsized from a 3,500 square foot house into a 1,400 square foot condo. But nice vacations are non-negotiable with us. Story 11. Whenever a new game comes out, I buy it. I had a manager who makes more than me ask me once how I have so much money. He said they are expensive. I was rude for no reason and responded with, I save a lot by not buying cigarettes. I still feel bad about doing that sometimes. Story 12. I get a chauffeur driver to pick me up from the airport. He stands there with my name on a tablet, and it looks very luxurious, but it's actually only a little bit more expensive than a regular ride-sharing service. Plus, he carries your bags and you don't need to wait in line for a taxi. Story 13. My social anxiety is so bad I will only go to events if I can have a VIP experience or otherwise have some space between me and other people. It gets pretty pricey, and people who know me but not very well, like those on social media, look at me like I am bougie, but honestly, it is the only way I would be able to attend. Story 14. I am in my 40s, single, and have no kids. I probably actually make less than a number of my friends and peers, but obviously am able to spend quite a bit more on things for myself than most others that have larger families to support, and sometimes get comments insinuating that I am wealthy. I live comfortably, have minimal debt, and yes, sometimes splurge on nice things for myself, but I am definitely not rich. Story 15, wear good clothes. This does not mean wear name brand clothes. I spend on getting clothes retailered. For instance, buy a large shirt, get it retailered to you so it fits like a charm. Most people don't realize just having a well-ironed shirt that fits perfectly and pants makes a world of difference. Even bad shirts look sleek when properly ironed and fitted. Maybe $30 tops for a retailering. Ask your local ironing/washing shop, often run by Asians. They'll do it. Buy a shirt from Walmart and get it fitted. Tops you've spent $60 to $80 overall. You'll look sharp as can be. Also, if you're going to buy $200 items from other brands, just spend $150, go to a local tailor, and he'll make clothing from scratch with amazing material. You'll be a rock star. Story 16. We have cleaners come every other week to do all the things we hate, like dusting and cleaning blinds and baseboards. We have a yard guy who does all of our lawn care. He is local and a small business, so he is not outrageous, but he is really good at it and we get tons of compliments from neighbors. In all, we may spend an extra $500 a month, but that is time we do not have to spend doing those things, and we can enjoy our weekends while everyone else slaves away on their yards and cleaning. It has actually caused me and my wife to have fewer fights because we do not get irritated at each other for not wanting to waste a whole Saturday or Sunday doing chores. Story 17. International vacations. It's not as unattainable as people think. Sometimes it's the same or cheaper than United States vacations. And the only person at my job who has been to even a fraction of the places I have been is my boss's boss's boss. So I try hiding where I'm going because I don't need coworkers thinking I'm richer than 3 levels up boss. Story 18. I tip my delivery drivers and waitresses and waiters generously. It's not usually a huge difference to my budget to tip 30% instead of 15% when I feel I've received better than average service, and it always feels good. Story 19. Attend many concerts and festivals throughout the year. I make $75,000 in a high cost of living city, so it's not anything spectacular. But I'm debt-free, live with my brother, and I budget and cook my meals, so I have a lot of disposable income. I make sacrifices so I can really enjoy my passion for live music. Story 20. We bought 2 cars brand new, but we are frugal otherwise. My purse is 10 years old. I do not buy makeup. The only skincare I buy is cheap face wash and Cetaphil lotion. I do not get my hair or nails done. I do not get massages. I do not get daily coffees from coffee shops. I do not order fast food for delivery, and we rarely eat out. I use coupons a lot, and so on. The people who say I am rich, like my sister, have a hoarder's house with literally 100 purses, 50 jackets, and so on that they have never used and still have tags on them. Story 21. I own a weekend home I inherited from my mother when she died. I was 18. It makes me sound extremely bourgeois, but I can barely afford the place. I just can't bring myself to either give up the only remaining connection I have to her or give up property at this particular moment. Story 22. We went on many big and small trips last year. People judged us. We bought a small old caravan and went camping. Our many trips together were still not as expensive as a 3-week all-inclusive trip. We are from Belgium, so do not picture the big American houses on wheels. We have seen some crazy caravans and campers on our 2019 trip in the United States. Story 23. I speak with a posh accent. It's not deliberate. I got it from my family who are from the other end of the country, but it means that people assume I'm richer or better educated than I am. Story 24. I was raised by a mom from an upper class, so she was sure to teach me proper table etiquette, gait, and how to carry a good conversation, along with a good vocabulary to use. I always say, I absolutely sound, walk, and seem like a snob. Hopefully, I can show you otherwise. Story 25. Whenever we go on a trip, we hire a car. Because people who own cars don't consider the lifetime cost of their car maintenance, fuel, road tax, etc. They always think, wow, $150 just to be able to go somewhere for the weekend? That's outrageous. In fact, I've already done the calculations and we could do this nearly every weekend in a year, and it wouldn't even come close to the cost of purchasing a car, let alone maintaining one. In actuality, we go away maybe 10 times a year. Plus, when renting, I'm always driving brand new or nearly brand new vehicles. Story 26. I scuba dive and am entirely too broke to be doing so. Other divers talk to me as if I have disposable income to contribute to scuba, but really, I shouldn't have spent the money I already have on it. Thankfully, I buy my gear in bulk and take out what I need, then sell the rest. This helps significantly with the cost of equipment. So all I need to pay for is air, parking, and gas to get to the dive site. Story 27. Go to Disneyland. I am a single guy, and Costco has a great package deal. It is fairly affordable, and if I book it far enough in advance, the flights are cheap. Story 28. We find that buying older model luxury cars that have been well maintained is the way to go. People who can afford to buy those new don't want older cars and have taken the burden of the depreciation. We find them cheaper than an equivalent year Honda or Toyota with the same mileage. Feels very luxurious and has all the features. People see my car and think I am wealthy. Story 29. Nice interior and high-quality clothes and jewelry that will last me a long time. I rarely eat out, travel, or visit spas, but I love making my home and myself look and feel beautiful. I never go out just to shop for whatever. I only buy what I need with a lot of thought in it. Story 30. I always pay for the entire table's dinner, and I put my card in the book without looking at the bill, no matter how bad it's going to hurt. We also buy everything with credit cards that award points, which we use for travel. So paying for things like the electric bill and groceries funds our vacations. I also have a couple of watches that are worth over a few $1,000s. The truth is, I buy damaged watches for extremely cheap and restore them myself. The last one is that we mortgage a home. This one's ironic because people see our house and assume we're rich. But the truth is, I could never afford to live in most people's mediocre apartments. I try to hint to people that it's cheaper to own than rent, and they always mumble something about down payments. The government paid my down payment, though. I have lots of property because the Federal Housing Administration pays people's down payments as an incentive to move further out of the city. All of the things I have, which people associate with being rich, I have because I am poor. Story 31. Insane tips in restaurants and coffee shops. I tip baristas $5 for my one drink, and way more than 20% for dinner. I'm not that rich now, but I was a barista and a bartender for years, and I appreciate them. That extra boost can really make someone's whole shift better. Also, the next 4 customers will receive way better service if their server is in a good mood. So you're welcome. Story 32. Wear simple, pressed clothing and clean shoes with very little jewelry. Get really good at finding knockoffs of these items on Amazon and take really good care of them, because they are not quality and will quickly wear out. You will not fool truly wealthy people, but you will be able to fool most others. Story 33. Travel. I travel a lot because I find insanely cheap flights, for example, a $300 direct round-trip flight to Beijing from Los Angeles. I stay in hostels, not hotels, with a communal kitchen so I can prepare a lot of my food instead of eating out. What someone usually spends on a week-long vacation, I can do like 3 or 4 different ones. Story 34. I do the opposite. We are well off, but nobody has a clue because we live a Spartan, simple life. Nobody would think to ask us for money. Thieves would just drive by if they saw our house. Story 35. I have a really nice house and usually have nice things too, like clothes, a phone, a computer, whatever I need. Funnily enough, I don't consider myself a materialistic person at all. The thing is, I got my home, my childhood home, from my parents as they retired and moved to another property just outside the city, so I only pay bills and such. I don't really need a car and have zero debt, which translates into a lot of disposable income. Also, cocaine. Story 36. I enter sweepstakes for fun, and I have won several trips. My family thinks I make a lot of money. I won a trip to an electronic dance music concert, to the Olympic trials, and to a winery in the last year. I couldn't have afforded it otherwise. Story 37. I find good eau de toilettes and eau de perfumes that go well with my body chemistry. I don't spend much on fragrances a year, less than $60. I follow up with herbal scented baths like lavender, rose, mint, and lemon. All my friends say I smell like a nice, rich lady. Story 38. I buy a lot of houses. I have 7 or 8 right now, but I have mortgages on all of them, so I don't really own them. I just let the rent pay for the mortgage payments. But people hear that I own 8 houses and then wonder where my Lamborghini is. Story 39. I own a house and can take a few trips a year. Also, I don't flinch paying for someone else's meal or going on the trip with me. The truth is that I budget my money fairly well. Story 40. I'm willing to drop $1,000 or more on a single concert ticket if I like the artist enough. So people will often see me with great seats, taking videos where you can see the whites of the performer's eyes. However, what they don't see is that I don't like to spend a lot on other things outside of that. $50 for a t-shirt? Absolutely not. I rarely even buy concert merchandise. But $800 for a floor ticket to see Harry Styles after never having been able to participate in the One Direction fandom as a teen? Pocket change. Story 41. I have diamonds inserted in all of my gold teeth and gold fingernails and toenails. I also have gold-coated vinyl siding on my house with gold-coated shingles on the roof. Also, gold gutters, of course. But none of the gold is real. I just buy a lot of gold spray paint and repaint everything I own on a weekly basis, as well as my body. Nothing unusual.